Welcome, fiber friends, to another episode of the Knit, Knot, and Weave podcast. I know, it has been a while. It has been a long while. My head was not on right the last few months. I'm very candid that I speak about my ADHD, depression, and anxiety issues, and the last few months have been very difficult for me, with the situation going on with my family, things going on with work, and just general things going on in the world and in our country today. So I have been in therapy. I have been working with my doctor on medications, and we will see how that works from here on out. There may be some adjustments, but we are not here to speak about that today. So if you have a cup of something, grab it, grab a snack, grab your knitting or your crocheting or whatever crafty project you are working on. And today we are going to be talking about all about hand spun yarn. So, hello, fiber friends. This is a long-awaited podcast, I know. I did participate in the Tour de Fleece this past summer. This is my second year of participating. For those of you that do not know, Tour de Fleece is done at the same time as the Tour de France and the Tour de Femme in France. And while the bikers are spinning on their bikes, fiber artists are spinning on their spinning wheels or e-spinners. So I did partake on two different teams. I was on team 80% with Alana Wilcox and her group, and I was also part of Stash Dashers with Melly Knits. I wasn't in any particular cabin or group with Melly Knits. I was just enjoying the experience. So today, I'm going to share with you everything that I have fully finished during the Tour de France for the summer of 2025. If you would like to know where I am out on the interwebs, I will, I'm so out of practice. I will post here where you can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky and all that fun stuff. I am coming to you from Columbia, Maryland. This podcast is usually about fiber-related crafting. That could be anything from knitting to crocheting to weaving to spinning to yarn dyeing, and who knows what other crafty holes I'll be going down. So, but like I said, this one in particular is for spinning today. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and being here after my long departure as I got my head on straight. And if you are a new viewer or a new spinner, welcome to the crazy. So let's get started. I have a whole basket here of yarn that I spun over the summer. I would say this was my escapism this summer as I was trying to get my head on straight. Most of this was done on e-spinners. I have two. I have the Dreaming Robots e-wheel 6, and I have the Daedalus Starling in a burgundy color. Neither of which have names yet because I am so far behind in giving them names. But anyway, let's talk about fiber. So I had gone into Tour de Fleece with several different plans in mind of what I was going to spin. Some I followed through on, some I changed my mind on, and some I wasn't even anticipating on doing. But we'll start with something that I had planned on. So when I went to Maryland Sheep and Wool, I purchased 2 bags of BFL fiber from, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a complete blank now. Do I have it on here? Feederbrook Farms. Woo! So, Feederbrook Farms usually has some really great bags of fiber that they have for sale at sheep and wool festivals. I believe they also have them at Rhinebeck, but I did buy these 2 at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. I picked up 2 8-ounce bags that were in similar or matching colorways. I was planning to hopefully spin thin enough to get I was hoping a DK worsted weight yarn in a 2-ply, and I was hoping to make, or I'm planning to make, the Traveler Shawl by Andrea Mowry. So if I have a picture of the 2 bags, I will put them up here, but if not, I believe I shared them in my past episode where I talked about my Maryland Sheep and Wool fiber haul. But anyhow, these were spun up on my e-spinner, and I have 3 huge skeins of this yarn, and they are all 2-ply. They're all pretty much, if I can get this undone. Oh, it would help if I got all the yarn out. So here is one, and this big skein is approximately 306 yards. You can see all the pretty colors in there. And then this is my other skein of it. And this one is approximately 250 yards. So altogether that is, what is it, 250 and 306, so that's 556 yards, all in very similar colorways. And then I had this little bit that was left over and wouldn't fit on the bobbin, so here's another 100 yards. So that gives me, what did I say, 656 yards. So this should hopefully be enough for my traveler shawl. So I'm very excited. I'm hoping to get this started. I'm currently working on, I've started my Christmas gifts. So this might be a little while before it gets knitted up. But I spun up for one project. So that was definitely on my list to do. And I'm just gonna skein them back up here because I want to keep them nice and neat. Really looking forward to seeing how this knits up with all these different colors. So when I had the 2 bags, so here we go, you can see that the colors are pretty much cohesive and will go work together. So what I did is when I had these 2 bags, I took out all the pieces that were in there and I attempted to put all of the like light fluorescent-y colors here in one bag, and then some of the darker tones that you see in the other bag, and then I would weigh them to try and make sure they were each 8 ounces, and then I would spin one up on one bobbin and one up on the other bobbin so that hopefully no two colors would cross at the same time when I was plying them together. So that will be the Traveler's Shawl by Andrea Mowry. Then the second thing I spun up was I finished spinning up my Nanette Wakes that I had started a while ago. It was 100% Falkland. You guys chose for me to start with the Roses Are Red, and this came out to be approximately 246 yards. It's a pretty pink colorway here. Pinks and purples. I think I may put this one, I haven't decided yet. I might tighten up the ply on this one because it's a little loosely plied, but I haven't decided yet. I probably won't because I want to spin up some more. But so this wasn't, it was not spun during Tour de Fleece, but it was plied during Tour de Fleece. So this is Nanette. So this was all, I'm sorry, in case I forgot to say, this was all BFL from Feederbrook Farms. And this one is 100% Falkland from Nanette Wakes, and she has an Etsy shop. Then my second project that I had planned to spin up, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it once I spun it up, but I had it in my stash, and I really wanted to try spinning with Shanico yarn, because Shanico wool, because I had not spun with that yet. So this is Yarn Jams Shanico I had purchased when she was doing her podcaster colorways. And I hope I have it on here which one this is. Okay, so this one is Gently Chaotic Knits, and it's the Confetti Tweed. I actually think one skein was the Confetti Tweed, and the other one may have been just plain Shanico. Let me check. Confetti Tweed. Oh, nope, so they were both Confetti Tweed. So if you haven't watched her podcast, you should go over and check her out. So this was 89% natural Shanico, 6% acrylic, and 5% nylon. And I have approximately 416 yards here. And this one, I am thinking of making the Traveler's Cowl with it. Now, how I broke these up for spinning, there's so many different ways that you can break up your braids to spin it up. But since I had two braids, I spun one braid from end to end in the colors, like without breaking the colorways or splitting the braid at all. And then the second braid I had split into, I think it was three long splits. So it was a 2-ply fractal. So I will have long sections of the sort of like this brownish red and gold and blue, and then shorter ones in the second ply. So this one I am pretty sure is going to be the Traveler's Cowl. And I don't know if I have enough yardage, but I definitely have enough yardage to at least get it closed in the back, and maybe it won't be as long in the front, which is okay by me because we don't tend to have super cold winters here in Maryland, but I understand that we are in a year that they are anticipating a snowmageddon. I think that's like every 7 to 10 years, Maryland seems to have a really bad snowstorm, or several, and we get several feet of snow and school winds up being closed for about a week. And not because the roads are so bad. The roads are usually cleared within a couple of days. It's trying to get all the schools cleared out and all their parking lots and all the walking trails for all the walkers that's takes so long. But this was a very fun spin. It was the first time I also spun tweedy yarn or tweed fiber that had tweed in it. And I wasn't used to that, so there are definitely some thicker parts, because when you get to the tweed section, it's much more slick than the natural wool that it's with. And so because I was unaware of that, and this is only my second year. I've only been spinning for approximately a year and a couple of months when I spun this up. I wasn't used to that, so I didn't know how to slow it down or how to why am I not thinking of the word? It's when you stretch the fiber. The brain is not working today. Okay, the menopause brain is out to lunch. But so, I'm looking forward to turning this into the cowl and seeing how that comes out. It's definitely a fairly consistent ply. You can see that there are still some, like right here, you can see that there's a thick section, and then right next to it there are some thinner sections. So there's still some inconsistency in my single plying, but I'm working on it. So this is going to be the Traveler's Cowl, and I have a feeling I may be casting this on soon. So that is project number 2 that I had planned for my hand spun. And then I kind of went a little crazy. I had purchased this advent from the World of Wool over in England last Christmas of 2024, and I had not done anything with it. So I decided maybe this was a good time to just play around and see how different fibers spun up, because their advent, I think, like every single little package, because all the all the different days came in a package like this. If I'm remembering correctly, they were 50 grams each. So it's a substantial sample to use, and they definitely had some very interesting combos of fiber in each one of their advents. So first up, I just started doing each day. Let me see if I can find day 1. So here's day 1. Day 1 is a Corriedale and Surrey alpaca. And this is getting a little blown out. It's more of a denim-y. Let me see, does it work back here? No, it's still getting blown out, but it's more of a denim color blue than the bright blue it's showing up on here. And I spun it up. I spun it as a single, and then I gave it a day to rest on the bobbin, and then I did a chain ply. So this is a 3-ply chain plied yarn, and I got 58 yards out of this one. I have no idea what I'm going to do with these little bits of yarn. Maybe I will weave with them. I was thinking maybe I might make some of the Imagine Landscape dwarfs. Not dwarfs, what am I thinking of? The gnomes, Imagine Landscape gnomes with some of this yarn. So there you have it. It was a Cordale and Suri alpaca. It was very nice to spin. You can see that the alpaca still gives it a lot of drape, and it was, let me tell you the actual breakdown. So what's really nice about the World of Wool Advent is they pick a theme, and then, like I said, every day you get an envelope of a 50-gram thing of roving, and it's different blends. So this one happened to be 75% Cordale wool and 25% Suri alpaca. And so you could definitely see the alpaca is giving it just beautiful, beautiful drape. I think I forgot to mention that this colorway is called Feswick. But like I said, it's a denim color. It's not that bright blue that's showing up on your screen. And then day 2, I opened up and fell in love. This is a beautiful, beautiful, like dusty pink. The colorway is called Zuzu's Petals. And you can see it's got a little bit of sparkle in there. So this was an 80% superwash merino, 12.5% regular merino, and then 7.5% stellina. And this, I did a 2-ply with it. You can see it's beautifully balanced. And I got 98 yards out of this, so almost 100 yards. So I thought that was pretty nice. I do really like this color. You could tell that as I was going through these, my singles were getting more consistent as I was working on them, which is lovely. And when I was spinning these, I was just sort of zoning out. I would either have music playing in the background, or I was listening to audiobooks, and I just sort of like found my little Zen mode. I was able to block out some of the chaos that was going on in my brain with things that were going on, some emotions that were a little high due to things I had to contemplate and consider. And I found my Zen zone. I don't know how else to put it. Day 3 was called none other than Cindy Lou Who. You can see this beautiful pinky red colorway. And this breakdown was 42.5% merino, 37.5% faux angora, 12.5% tribal nylon, and 7.5% extra bleached tussa silk. And this was very nicely blended together. You could see that I was getting a little bit more consistent in my spinning on this one. I did do this one as another 3-ply. I should say not, it is a 3-ply, but it was chain plied. I did not do 3 individual bobbins. And then I think I stopped doing chain ply because I felt like I needed more practice at it. So I have some skeins of lace weight that I am probably not going to knit up as lace weights. So I have cake them up and I'm going to practice chain plying on them. When you get to when you're chain plying in spinning, it's almost like you're making super long crochet chains. And when the chain comes through at that point, it can make like just a little bump in the yarn. And I feel like I don't have the smooth rhythm of that yet to do it on really nice yarn. So I don't want to waste, not that it's ever wasted yarn, but I don't want to waste any more yarn doing chain ply that I'm not completely and totally happy with, especially when I am completely and totally happy with the colorway and the spinning up, the drafting of the yarn, the drafting of the fibers of these particular blends were. So we moved on to day 4, which was Cinnabar. And you can see this is a pretty brown, but it's got flecks of other colors in here. You can see that there are like little flecks of blue and red, and it's very, very blended. So from a distance, it definitely looks all brown. And I don't know if you could see, there we go. You see the little flecks of the other colors in here. Oh, there we go. But this was an interesting blend. This was 37.5%, and I'm going to mess this up, Manx Lawton, 37.5% Merino, 12.5% UK alpaca, and then 12.5% mulberry silk. So this is pretty, and I thought that they all seem to have spun up at a similar weight. If you look at them together. So I'm thinking they might make a nice woven scarf or shawl of some sort. But this one, as a 2-ply, I got 108 yards out of it. And so far they all feel very, very nice. Most of them feel next to skin soft. Some, like this one, might be, depending upon how sensitive you are to wool. Maybe not, because I'm usually pretty sensitive to certain. Yeah, actually I could feel, I'm not sure if I would ever wear this one totally up against my skin if it wasn't like a scarf or a cowl that I'd be able to take off when it really irritated me. But what I found interesting is some of these, they felt so soft in the comb top format, and they felt so soft as they spun up into a single ply. But when they got plied together into a 2-ply, they felt a little bit rougher. And I don't know if it's, since they're mixed, I don't know if it's one particular yarn, one particular fiber, the mix of fiber, or if that's just how it is. I don't know how else to explain that. Maybe that one, you know, I always heard that, you know, when you mix rougher fibers with some fibers that tend to be a higher micron, which means they're a softer fiber, that sort of balances it out. But some of these I didn't find that they balanced out very well. So who knows? And then this one, I think this was one of my most favorite spins out of the group. So this one was called Loathed Entirely. And this was day 5. And this one was 58.5% merino, 25% tussa silk, and 16.5% alpaca. And it's this beautiful green colorway. It's coming out definitely much brighter on the screen than it really is. This is a 2-ply. I think this may have been one of my thinnest and most consistent spins for the Tour de Fleece. And this one was actually very, very nice to spin. I'm finding that I'm not so adept at spinning anything that has sari silk in it. I think that just needs to be spun as a thicker single, because I haven't quite got the hang of sort of slowing down and pulling the sari silk apart so much as to letting it come through in like big lumps. I forgot, did I say I got 162 yards out of this one? So sari silk has been the bane of my existence during this Tour de Fleece. I had a really, really tough time with any of the bases that had sari silk in it, more so than I did with the base that had the Tweety nylons in it. So then I did, where is it? Number 6. This one is called Jack Frost. And again, there's some pretty stellina in this one. You can see those little bits of sparkle coming through there. And this is 50% Leyen, L-L-E-Y-N. I'm not sure what breed of sheep that is. 46% merino and 4% stellina. Again, another very, very pretty ice blue, aptly named Jack Frost. This was a 2-ply and I got 102 yards out of it. And this stellina, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it in here. This stellina is more of like a rainbowy colored stellina, or an iridescent colored stellina. It's not like just silver or just gold. But this was fun to spin. The merino made it softer. The other sheet, L-L-E-Y-N, I don't know how to say it. It makes it a little bit more rustic feeling. Don't think I would wear this next to skin. I would probably have to dial back on the lane wool, maybe add more merino or more of something that was a bit softer. So, sorry, I'm going to move this along a little so this one doesn't get to be too long. And then I spun up, I did spun up some other days, but they have not been plied up yet because they were super, super slick and they came out really thin, and I want to chain ply them. But like I said, I'm not so good at my chain ply yet. So we're jumping ahead to day 9, and this was Necked Rupert. I know I'm totally butchering that colorway name. And this one has quite an amount of variety in it. There's 30% merino, 20% alpaca, 15% BFL, 15% Polworth, 8% tribal nylon, 6% flax, and 6% tussa silk. And this is all pretty much that taupey brown colorway with no variation to it. There are no mixes of color in. This was actually a very nice spin. You could see, I guess, You can see that it's a pretty consistent spin of my singles. I don't have too many thick and thin spots to it. Ooh, you can see there aren't too many thick and thin spots to it. And I got 122 yards out of this one. Then we're going to go to day 10, and this one is called From Home Alone, Kevin! This was a beautiful colorway. It's like a reddish brown. It was 50% Shetland, 25% Cheviot, and 25% BFL. This is the first time I have spun with Shetland, and it's definitely got various tones of reds and browns in it. This one definitely wanted to spin a little thicker. So you could see that it's more, I think it's more of a DK weight. And I did not write down how much yardage I got out of this one. Let's see. 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 25, 26 times 2, 52 yards. So I have no idea what the grist on any of these is because I don't completely understand what grist is yet. I am just spinning to have spinning fun. And then as I was watching some other folks posting about their spins during Tour de Fleece, because of course, yes, I did watch some other podcasters sharing their spinning experience during Tour de Fleece. I saw somebody else, and for the life of me, I can't remember who it was. But she had also was spinning with a world, was she spinning with a World of Wool? I think she was. I think she was spinning with a World of Wool Advent. And she had mixed some of her Advents to make longer skeins. So I thought I would give that a try. So I went through and I picked out all the colorways that had some green in it. And I turned this into a 3-ply because it was using five different packets. So it was technically 250 grams of fiber. So let me see, do I have these in order? Yes. So what I did for these is I split these into 3s. And if I remember correctly, I know I should have taken better notes when I was doing this, but I was, like I said, I was just zoning out when I did this. But I believe I did one, they were all split into thirds because I wanted to do a 2-ply, a 3-ply, a true 3-ply yarn at the end. So the first ones I did just in order from, so I did day 12, day 15, day 17, day 21, and day 11. So they were, each of these bags were split into 3. And then among those 3, one I spun from 11 through 21. And then the second skein, I think I split each one of them into 2. and then I went 11 to 21, and then the third bobbin I split each one into 3 strips and spun them in that order. So day 11, the colorway, and I'm sorry, I did not take pictures of each colorway beforehand. If I happen to find them, if you want to see what they are, you can always go back to my 2024 Vlogmas episodes, and I believe I've shown them all in there. I did not do a Vlogmas every single day last year. I think I had combined a couple of days together. So day 11 was called, the colorway was called Milk Wire, and it was 37.5 Puntas Arenas, which is a type of merino, and then 37.5% merino and 25% sari silk. Again, the bane of my existence of sari silk. And then day 12 was called Yule Cat, and it was 37.5% Icelandic wool, 27.5% Corriedale, and 25% bamboo. Then we move on to day 15. And day 15 was called Wenceslas. So who's Wenceslas? Wenceslas, also known as Good King Wenceslas, or the Duke of Bohemia. And this one was 75% superfine merino and 25% Cudence silk. It's the first time I've spun with either of those, a superfine merino or the Pudence silk. I've never heard of that one before. And then next is 17, which the colorway is called Cheeses for Mises. And this one was a combination, sorry, I'm covering my mouth, of 62.5% BFL, 25% milk fiber, and 12.5% Erie silk. That was an interesting spin. And then, is this the last one? The last one was day 21. And this was called Buddy. Can we guess from what movie that was from? This was 62% Shetland, 20% South American, 8% merino, 5% viscose, and 5% tribal nylon. And this is what I got. So it's a combination of all those. It's approximately 300 yards of a 3-ply, and I want to say that this spun up to be a pretty nice 3-ply sport weight. I really love how the colors worked together in this. It's really, it's one of my favorite colorway spins that I've done. It's all very cohesive with all the different greens and naturals and the black. Unfortunately, it's not as soft as I would have liked it to have been if I was going to make a shawl. I don't know. I have to see if I work with it a little bit more, it'll either soften up or smooth out any. But so that was my first true combo spin. And then with the leftovers, I just plied them up into this 2-ply yarn. that is overwhelmingly with the black, and that's approximately 84 yards. And this one is definitely more of a fingering to heavy fingering base, or spin, I should say. I did do one other combo spin, but it is still on the bobbins because it was a very large amount. I spun up my Hedgehog Fibers Advent from last year, and that was 450 grams, and there were six different bases, but they are still on the bobbins. I need to ply it up as a 3-ply, and I have not had the ambition to do that yet. So then I pulled out this skein of beautiful fiber from my stash. It was one that I had picked up at Frederick Fiber Festival, not this past year, I think sometime last year. And I lost the tag, so I cannot tell you who the dyer was, but it was, the dyer was Sweater something. Maybe it was, I think it was Sweater Weather. Unless that was the name of the colorway. I'm so bad. I'm sorry, I did not write any of this down. But this is a Puntas Arenas base. It's a South American Merino, if I remember correctly. I did this as a 2-ply, and I got approximately 130 yards out of this. See all the pretty colors that she dyed in this one. This will probably be worked into a color work hat or shawl, scarf or something. And this was nice. Puntas Arenas was a nice base to spin up. Very fluffy, very easy to spin. Nice dye job, nothing clumped up too much. Then I spun up this beauty. Back at Maryland Sheep and Wool, I did take a dyeing class with Peggy Dooney, and I purchased some of her braids. This one was not from Maryland Sheep and Wool, but she had posted it on her Instagram page, and I thought it was absolutely stunning. The way she does some of her gradient braids is there's actually 15 different colorways. It's broken up into 3 2-ounce pieces of comb top, and if you lay the comb top out properly, you could do the actual gradient. I kind of wish I had bought 2 braids of this, because this one I spun each 2-ounce section on its own and then plied them together in a 3-ply. I really would like, unfortunately I don't think she has any more of this colorway, and I don't know if she's going to be dyeing any more of it, because she said it did not do well at her fiber festivals. It was not a big seller, which I was amazed about, because I kind of still thought like the pinky orangey coral colorway was still a very hot colorway. But this, I would say, was definitely, this was, I think, one of the last things I had spun up during Tour de Fleece, and it was definitely my most consistent spin. And I think if I had spun this up and done just a 2-ply, it would definitely be a fingering weight. But I really wanted to see that I really didn't want to break up one of the 2-ounce braids, so I did a 3-ply with it, and I have approximately 220 yards in here. I think this one just is so gorgeous. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I almost don't want to do anything with it. I may contact Peggy to see if she possibly, by some slim chance, does have another one of this. That the colorway is called Hibiscus Lemonade, and it's a 75% BFL, 25% Tussa silk blend. And I'm hoping she has another one, because I would like to try and spin it up in the gradient, in the true gradient pattern, and then 3-ply it to make an actual gradient yarn, and really like take a look at the difference. But I personally really love the look of 3-ply yarn. I think it makes a very nice round yarn, and I think this is probably my best spinning for the whole Tour de Fleece this year. It looks very consistent all the way through. And look at all those beautiful variations in those colors. I cannot believe this colorway was not one of a big seller for her. I'm really stunned, because pinks and oranges are not my colors by any means, but there was just something about this when she posted it that I had to have it. And then with the little bit I had left over, I just plied up this little thing. There wasn't much, so I just did a 2-ply with everything that was left. And again, you can see as a 2-ply, I got a nice tight spin out of it, a nice tight ply. And I would definitely say this is a fingering weight ply. No idea what I'm going to do with it. I may just, wear it as a beautiful necklace. And then lastly, I have one last braid, full braid. I do have some bobbins that I haven't finished plying, but this was one of my first purchases of fiber. This was purchased from my friend Patrick. It was one of the Spirit Trail Fiber Works, was one of their fiber club spins. It's 100% Falkland wool. It was the 2012 Fiber Club. It was an 8-ounce spin, and I got approximately 260 yards out of this. And it's a beautiful mashup of like a gray, dark grays, and purple tones. Definitely not one of my more consistent spins. You can see that there's definitely areas that are thick and thin. But I absolutely love the color. May weave this one up too into a nice scarf for somebody. Falkland is very squishy. I mean, it feels like there should be more yardage here, because it's a very fluffy base, but the plies themselves are not very thick, as you could see. Let's see, do I have anything to compare it to? I don't even think I have any coins or anything like that. But you can see the individual plies are not very thick. So, but this just feels so, squishy, squishy. Who knows, maybe this will turn into a man cowl. And that is everything I have spun up and plied up for Tour de Fleece this year. I have 3 full bobbins from the Hedgehog Fiber Advent Kit. So they are definitely all spun up as singles, and I need to ply them up into a 3-ply. I had a beautiful, beautiful wine-colored, believe it was a BFL silk that was in like a gorgeous Bordeaux burgundy colorway that I spun very, very fine, and I want to do a 3-ply with it, but I'm not doing my 3-plies yet. I want to get a little bit more practice in before I do those, that yarn, because I do want to be able to use it in something by itself, or maybe even like in a color work piece. And then I have 2 bobbins of little tidbits of Into the Whirl yarn that I got from my spinning class that I took with Jillian Moreno, and some little leftovers of Into the Whirl yarn that I had from other things. And so I just did a combo. I wouldn't call it a combo spin, because, well, it might be a combo spin because I don't know what all the bases were. So I have 2 ounces are on each bobbin, so I should get a 4-ounce 2-ply once that's 2-plied. So that's 3 more yarns, and then I believe I have 2 or 3 more days that I have spun up into singles that I have not plied together yet. I don't know why. I definitely enjoy spinning the singles more than I do the plying, but I love the look of the plied yarns. So you would think if I love to see the colors combos coming together, I would be like more interested in plying these bobbins together, but they're still on my bobbins. They will get plied. Hopefully I will share them in my next podcast. Who knows? I do still have another combo spin that I'm planning to spin up. So this is the box that my World of Wool Fiber Advent came in. And you can see it comes in all its little individual packages. So I want to do another combo spin. So I took a look at everything that I had left, and I'm thinking I was trying to make some sort of a gradient. So if I do, it's going to be another 3-ply, because there's 6, 1, 2, 3. It could potentially be 400 grams of fiber that I'm going to be spinning in this combo, but I haven't decided yet. But I took everything that had, like, I opened them all up and tried to just lay them out, because I really wanted to make another big honking skein of yarn like this. And so these were the ones that I'm leaning towards. So this is Mr. Bingle, which is a very, very natural color. And then a Mrs. Claus that has soft pinks and reds. That goes into, I am going to butcher this, Luftzelfra. If you can pronounce that and tell me how to pronounce it, that'd be great. But I thought those 3 would look well, and then we'd be going into this Nutcracker one that has some natural, and then it's got that hint of like burgundy in it. So I thought that would work well next to that. So trying to keep it going. So those three, and the first one here is that just that plain cream. I have Tomti, which would sort of go from the natural and bringing in some of the reds and the blues. I can't pick these all up at once, I'm sorry. And then from there, working into Family Tree, where we have some more of that natural taupey brown, which would then work into that Emmett colorway. The only thing that I question is that orange, but I know that orange is complementary to blue, so I think it would work really well. And then the blue going into the little troll prints. So that's what I'm thinking of for those two. And then I have two more left. This is Shoemaker, which is a totally dark brown. I don't think it would work in that packet anywhere. And then this one is, and if you can tell me what movie this is from, you'll get bonus points. Nakatomi. If you know what movie this is, put it down in the comments and maybe I will have a prize for you next week. This is another one that's a full natural, and it's a darkish medium gray, or I'd say more medium gray than dark. And this is Gotland and bamboo. And I'm not sure if there's enough bamboo to make Gotland next to scale. Somehow I already have it in two. But, ooh, and it fell on the floor. So there's the Gotland. But, anywho. Oh. Let me pick that up real quick for you. Not for you, for me. So that is all I have spinning wise. And actually, now that I'm looking more closely at this Gotland, there's definitely some color bamboo in there. I don't know if you can see it. Can you? I can't see it. I can't see it up on the screen. Shoot. There's like hints of like maybe a blue bamboo and a reddish bamboo. Oh, there's a good, maybe you can see that. Can you see that? You can see the hint of the red. It looks orange, but it's more red. But anywho, I don't know if there's enough bamboo to make that this next to skin soft. So I don't know. Just shoving these in here now. So what do you think? Do you think all of those work together? Do you think all of those work together? Do you think I should leave any one out? Let me know in the comments, because I really want to get this done. I want to be able to be done with this Advent before the new Advent season. So anyhow, if you are on a spinning adventure, let me know what you have spun up, what kinds of fibers you've already spun up, which ones you like the best, what fibers are you interested in spinning up. I actually have a sheep breed study that I need to get going on. I have, I think, somewhere between 80 to 85 different sheep breed samples that I need to do, and I feel bad because I've already spun some of them from this thing, but they were mixed with other fibers, so that's not really conducive to a fiber study. But I'm also planning, if you are new to spinning, I have some resources that I think would be good. I found a lot of good resources this year that I'd like to share with you all. So look for that coming up. And aside from doing a lot of spinning this summer, I have done a little bit of knitting and crocheting, so I will catch you all up on the next episode with what I have done knit and crochet wise on my next podcast. I'm hoping with the settling of my medication and being in more of a routine mindset that this will become more of a routine, and I'm hoping to make it more of a habit, because I really do enjoy doing these vlogs, I know they're not vlogs, video podcasts, whatever you want to call them, and documenting my fibery adventures and sharing them with you guys and hearing what you guys are up to and what you're all doing. So if you stick with me, I do plan on being a little bit more consistent with my videos moving forward. I know I've said that in the past, but I am working on a lot of things with my therapists and my medication, so hopefully that will come to fruition. So at this point, I would like to say happy spinning, happy crocheting, happy knitting, happy whatever crafting is bringing you the most joy right now. I hope you are taking time for yourself, you are relaxing and taking a step away from the news. I know it is very hard to hear and believe some of the things that are going on right now, be it in this country or around the world. I am trying to keep my thoughts positive, and we will see what happens from here. I truly appreciate all of you that have spent the last hour with me. I hope you have enjoyed my sharing of my spinning, and hopefully I will have something cast on with one of these before my next episode. If you have enjoyed this episode and you enjoy this podcast, please be sure to give that like button a hit that thumbs up, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you can be notified of all of my future podcasts. I wish you all well. Thank you for joining me. I love y'all, and ciao. Have a good week.